We all know that housekeeping team is the backbone of every hotel, and an inefficient housekeeping management will spoil your guest experience, ultimately leading to reduced revenue and a negative brand image for your hotel. And I'm sure you do not want such big loss for your property, right? Don't worry, we have a solution for you. Use QLab's housekeeping add-on and easily manage your hotel's housekeeping as well as maintenance tasks efficiently. Hi, I'm Deeksha, and in today's video, I'm going to introduce you to one of the most essential add-on using which you can manage your hotel's housekeeping management task. With two interactive interface and diverse features, this module will help you perform the various functions of housekeeping very easily. For example, scheduling and automation of your daily housekeeping task, exporting the daily housekeeping task reports, monitoring the housekeeping status of every room from the dashboard, as well as the management of the work orders and maintenance tasks. So let's start this video and discuss how you can use QLab's housekeeping add-on. Apart from this, I would also like to mention that if you need extensions for increasing the sales of your hotel business, then you can visit store.webcool.com and explore a number of products for every hotel technology. We also have the user guides for these extensions in our blog section, from where you can check the features and configuration to get to know the various functionalities of these add-ons as well. Now let's move back to our video. So let's start this video and see how you can use the QLab's housekeeping add-on for your housekeeping management. So to use the add-on, you have to first install it in QLabs. The process is very simple. You have to go in Modules and Services tab, click on the Manage Modules, and then you have to simply click on Add New Module, select the zip file and upload the module successfully. So this is how you have to add and install the QLab's housekeeping add-on. Once you install the add-on, it's time to configure the add-on and use it for your housekeeping management. So let me show you how you can configure the add-on. You can either configure the add-on by searching for the housekeeping add-on and then clicking on the configuration button. The other way in which you can go on the same configuration page is once you install the add-on, a new tab of housekeeping will be displayed to you in the menu bar. You have to simply click on the housekeeping tab and then click on the configuration from the drop down, and from here also you can land on the configuration page. Now let's discuss how you can configure the add-on very easily. So the first configuration is the auto task management. Using this add-on, you can automate your daily housekeeping task and decide that what should be the status of your housekeeping of all the room types once they go through the following events. So let me show you and discuss what all events are there and how you can update the housekeeping status for the room types on such events. So the first is the after checkout. So you can select the housekeeping status of any room type, that whether you want the status of housekeeping to be set as dirty or clean at the time when the room type undergoes checkout. So let's say a room type was assigned with the guest, and if the guest leaves the room and it proceeds for checkout, then the task of the housekeeping will automatically update to dirty. So you can similarly automate the various other events as well. So the next event is after room swap. So if you want that once you swapped any two rooms, then the housekeeping status of the rooms should be automatically updated. Then you can select what status of housekeeping you want to update. Next in event is the after room reallocation. So you can decide whether the room should be allocated clean or dirty as their housekeeping status once you reallocate the room. The next is the after out of order status. So you can decide whether you want the room to be allocated with housekeeping status clean or dirty once the room moves out from the maintenance and is again becoming available for the guest. The last is after work order. So once a particular room was assigned for work order and now the work order process is complete, then you can decide that once the work order is done, what should be the housekeeping status, whether it needs clean, whether it should be clean, or whether you want to mark that as dirty so that your staff should be informed that it should be cleaned before the guest uses it. So accordingly, you can automate the housekeeping status updation on the various events from the auto task management section. The next section is cron task management. So you can also set crons on any specific events. So we have two specific events for which you can set crons. One is for occupied rooms and the other is for booked for tomorrow rooms. So let me describe you what does these mean and how you can set cron and set specific time cron as well. So if you want that on each day the cron should run and check that for all occupied rooms housekeeping status should be updated, then you can do that easily from the cron task management option. So for that, the first option is occupied room. So you can enable this if you want the cron to be running for occupied rooms. So let's just enable and select yes. The next option comes as occupied room status. So you have to decide that whether you want to update the housekeeping status of all the room types which are occupied to clean or dirty from here. The next is specific time for cron. So you can decide that at what time the particular cron should run, and whether if you want that there should not be a particular time, so you can select no, and there will not be a particular time. The cron will run accordingly automatically. And the next option is booked for tomorrow. So a similar way in which we set up the cron of occupied room, we can also set up the cron for the next event, that is booked for tomorrow rooms. So if in case for all the rooms which will be booked for the next day or the day previous to the next day, the cron will run and it will update the status of the room types as per your selected room type status. So for that, you have to first select yes for booked for tomorrow. Next comes the option of booked for tomorrow room status. So you can decide what should be the updated housekeeping status for all those room types which are booked for the next day. So you can decide whether it should be clean or dirty, and accordingly you can decide that if you want any specific time at which the cron should run. If yes, select yes for specific time for cron and then add the time. So this is how you can update and manage the cron task for your housekeeping management. Now, after configuring everything, you have to simply click on save. And the configuration will be successfully updated. After configuring, it's time to see how you can use the various options of housekeeping management to manage your daily housekeeping operations as well as the work order and maintenance task efficiently. So let's see how you can manage the housekeeping task from the housekeeping tab. So click on the housekeeping tab and you can see there are various tabs, sub-tabs in the housekeeping. Manage task, manage work order, history, statuses. We have discussed the configuration tab, and now let's see how you can manage the task of housekeeping from the housekeeping module. So click on the manage task button, and as you can see, there are two modes in which you can manage your housekeeping task. One is the grid view and the other is the list view. So let me quickly explain you how you can use both the views to manage your housekeeping task. In the list view, a list of all the rooms as well including the hotels, room types and their housekeeping status will be displayed to you. You can simply click on the housekeeping status and change the housekeeping status of any room, and the housekeeping status of that room will be updated instantly. To edit the housekeeping status, you can also use the edit button and select the status and click on save. So this is how you can update the housekeeping status and manage your housekeeping task directly from the list view. You can also filter the housekeeping status and the housekeeping task according to hotel name, room type, housekeeping status, as well as the room order status. So this is how you can manage your housekeeping task from the list view mode. Now comes the grid view. So you can switch from the list view to grid view from this toggle of grid view. So simply click on enable of grid view, and this is how the grid view looks like. It is a very interactive interface through which you can simply drag and drop the housekeeping statuses from one column to another to update the housekeeping status of the rooms. So as you can see, we have to simply drag drop to update the housekeeping status. Also, you can simply hover over any particular column and click on the add addition button to update and edit the particular housekeeping status for that particular room. Also, once you click on the three dots and info button, you will be able to see the history that what all past updates has been made for this particular room type housekeeping status. You can also click on the edit icon to edit the housekeeping status of this room. So through this grid view, you can also filter the data as per your convenience and manage their housekeeping status accordingly. Apart from managing the housekeeping status daily, from these grid view and list view interfaces, you can also manage the bulk updates of your housekeeping task. So let's suppose you have multiple rooms and you want to update the status of more than one room from any one status to another housekeeping status directly rather than one by one. Then we provide a bulk update option with this add-on. So you have to simply click on the bulk update button. And here you can select what should be the status. So let's say I want to update the status to clean, and then you can decide for what hotel we want to update the status, and then select all the room types for which you want to update this status, and then click on the save button. And that's it. As you can see, all the room types of general room have been updated with the status clean as their housekeeping status. So this way you can easily manage and efficiently save time for your housekeeping management process. We also provide maintenance task option. So if you want to update the status of your rooms from working or available to maintenance, you can simply click on the maintenance task button, and here you can see a list of all the rooms which are under maintenance. To shift a room to maintenance, you can simply select and drag and drop it from clean to out of order. So this way all the rooms which are out of order will be displayed under the maintenance task. You can also click on the edit button and update the status of all the room types which are under maintenance, and you can select the date from and date to, from which date to which date these rooms should be kept under maintenance. So you can easily manage your maintenance task as well from this add-on. If you want to export a list of all the housekeeping status of all the rooms of your hotel, then you have to simply click on the export button. And as you can see, a CSV file of all the housekeeping statuses of the rooms will be saved on your device, through which you can manage your daily housekeeping task and coordinate with your housekeeping staff very easily. Apart from managing your daily housekeeping statuses of the room as well as managing your maintenance statuses, you can also manage your work orders very easily in QLab's housekeeping add-on. To do that, you have to click on housekeeping and click on the manage work order. To create a new work order that you are providing to any third-party service provider, you have to simply click on the add new work order. Let's suppose we are giving a contract to third-party service provider of whitewash, and we want that few of our rooms are under work order. So you have to simply add a title for that, add a description, add a remark if you want, and then select from which date to which date the rooms will be under work order. Select the hotel and then select which rooms are under work order. Then you can decide whether you want these rooms to be disabled from booking by your guest throughout the time or date range in which the work order task will be active. So yeah, if you want to disable those rooms, then select yes and then click on save. And that's it. The work order has been successfully created. If you want to update or mark this work order as done, then you can simply mark it as done. And once you mark the work order as done, then all the rooms which you have disabled will be available again for booking. So this is how easily you can manage your work order task as well in QLab's housekeeping add-on. The next tab is the history. Here you can check the history of all those housekeeping status updations which are done by you as well as your employees. So you can track and monitor the status of your housekeeping task activity, as well as you can sync all your work order as well as maintenance and housekeeping task from one place. So you can see what is the last update date, what is the room number, what is the housekeeping status, what status was updated by whom and at what time. So every data of the housekeeping status as well as their updation and updated name and the name of your employee will be displayed to you. This history tab will help you efficiently manage and record all the data of your housekeeping tasks. The next tab comes of statuses, from which you can manage the statuses which you use for your housekeeping management. So currently by default we have 4 status: clean, dirty, in progress and out of order. You can definitely click on the edit button to edit the color, the name as well as the label color of all these statuses and add and update all these statuses as per your convenience and preference. Let me quickly show you how you can monitor the housekeeping statuses and manage your housekeeping task from the dashboard as well. So click on the dashboard of Qlo Apps, and after you will install the module, you will be able to see a housekeeping tab in the Operations Today section on the dashboard. You click on this housekeeping tab and you will see a list of all the rooms which are dirty or out of order, and you can manage them from the dashboard as well. Simply click on the view button and it will redirect you to the place where you can update the room housekeeping status. Apart from that, on the dashboard, you can also see the number of rooms which are clean, dirty and out of order, so that you can continuously monitor your housekeeping status of all the rooms and manage a count of number of rooms which are under a specific housekeeping status. So this is how you can monitor from the housekeeping status of rooms from your dashboard as well. We also have the Book Now section, from where you can create offline bookings for your guest, and when you hover down, you will be able to see the housekeeping status of all your available rooms, booked rooms as well as unavailable rooms. So from here you can manage your housekeeping statuses as well. Apart from that, in the Catalog Manage Room Type section, once you click on the edit button, in the configuration tab, we have added a new section of housekeeping status which will demonstrate you that which all room types are active, and if they're active, then under which housekeeping status are they currently belonging to. Apart from that, you will be able to see which all rooms are out of order, either under maintenance or in work order as well. So this is how you can monitor the housekeeping status of your rooms on various sections in the back office of Qlo Apps. To manage the housekeeping status of the rooms which have been booked by a guest, you can go in the orders section, and at the time when you select a particular order and you try to reallocate or swap rooms in the order, you will be able to see the current housekeeping status of all those rooms as well. It will help you better manage your housekeeping task and will aware you the housekeeping status of the rooms which have been booked by your guest. So let me show you how it is displayed to you. Once you click on any order, you will be able to see the housekeeping status of that particular room by clicking on the reallocate room button. So at the time when you are reallocating the room, you will be able to see the current housekeeping status of your current room as well. So this is how you will be able to manage the housekeeping status of all the rooms which you will be reallocating or swapping. With Qlo Apps housekeeping add-on, you can easily manage your housekeeping, maintenance as well as work order task efficiently. You can start using this module by purchasing it from Webkul store and installing it in Qlo Apps. For any further queries, please feel free to reach out to us at support@webkul.com, or you can even create a ticket at webkul.ubdesk.com. So start using this module and ease the housekeeping management task for you and your staff.